But in terms of like English versus American, there's a few guys like there's Ricky Gervais, and there's a few guys who could really do it. But it's like it's a different style of communication over there.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily apply that directly without completely remapping how you talk about things.
It's the whole storytelling thing they do over there, dude. Yeah, I mean, Jim Jeffries, obviously, he rules. That Connolly guy, he's fucking good.
Billy Connolly,
Yeah.
Scotland, right?
But it's like, if you go to a place where it's English as a second language and you're the American comedian, you're bodying everyone. It's nuts. It's a bloodbath in there.
Why do you think the level over here is so much higher?
Because we've been doing it longer.
Is that what it is?
I think so. And also, like, we value humor than a lot more than other places do, I think.
I think also it's real hard to develop if you're the funniest guy in the room.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I think
you have to have people you aspire to.
Yeah, and that's one of the more important things about comedy communities. And that's one of the things that I thought a lot about when I first got here. When I first got here, before I thought about, like, Jesus Christ, you really want to open up a fucking comedy club?
Right, yeah.
Is that really what you want to do with your time? You don't have time already. You don't have any time.
Right.
How are you going to do this? But then I thought, like, that's actually a very valuable piece of the puzzle. And the more I didn't have it, the more I was realizing, like it's most of my fun at nighttime is hanging out with comics and talking. Most of my fun at nighttime. It's either, like talking in the green room, or it's fucking around after the show, going and having a drink or getting something to eat. Like, that's like some of the most fun times I have.
That's why we're the luckiest people, dude. Because everywhere you go, you hang out with the funniest people in that city.
Yeah, but if you don't have that, if you're just in whatever, some weird town somewhere, and you start an open mic night, it's hard to get good.
Oh, for sure.
You need, like, real comics around you, like really good comics around you. It's not even enough to be watching it on YouTube. You got to kind of see it live. Yeah. You got to experience it live.
It's like you go on the road and then you meet someone really funny in like South Bend or Cincinnati, and you're like, yo, dude, you got to get the fuck out of here. You got to go somewhere else because you're really funny and you're not going to get as funny as you can here.
And there's also a thing that happens when comics get established.
Yeah.
And then they get their own audience, and then they bring the weakest possible opening act. And then they go on afterwards only in front of their audience, and they look like a hero.
Right, yeah.
It's a weird thing because your act sort of deteriorates without you even knowing it.
Right, yeah. You ossify. You get soft, yeah.
Yeah, some shit goes wrong. You got to be around the killers. Man. You got to be. Bill Burr said this once. He was talking about somebody, and he goes, "You got to do the clubs. You got to do the clubs. These guys, they get to a certain point, they stop doing the clubs, and their act falls apart. Yeah, it's 100% true. Like, you got to do it in front of live people, small crowds, medium crowds, and that's why we set up these two rooms. We have small and then a regular. Yeah, like a 250 and a 120. Which is like the right numbers. It's like 300 is the magic number for a comedy club. For it to be intimate but still big, 300 is the magic number. So anywhere you can get between like 250 and 300 is like the sweet zone.
It's like Comedy Works.
Yeah, it's the sweet zone. You get to those big fucking stand-up live in Phoenix, that's huge.
It's impersonal.
It's so big. It's like a small theater. It's fun for the people in the front, but it's like a small theater.
You watch people do crowd work in those big rooms, and there's people in back, and it's like, who's he talking to?
Zero idea what's
going on. They see the back of the head back there.
Yeah, they have zero idea what's going on.
It's funny when I was opening for Tim, like figuring out how to do comedy in front of like 300 or 3,600 people or whatever it is, because you can't do crowd work. Right. You have to have an act. Yeah. And like that's when I got super strong, is I had like a bulletproof 25 instead of relying on like riffing or, talking to the crowd. It's like, no, here are my jokes and these are proven. I can't imagine those arenas you do. Those are fucking crazy, dude.
Those are weird, but they're actually kind of intimate if it's in the round. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that an arena like where the back is the stage and the audience is in front of you, like normal, is as intimate as a theater. It's less intimate than a theater, but more people. But when you're in the round, there's something about being in the round that's more intimate than a theater. It's really weird because you're surrounded by people, and the people are seeing the other people. Like, everybody sees everybody, and everybody's enjoying. One of the things about laughter, it's contagious.
For sure.
You're actually looking straight ahead at people laughing. It's kind of more fun. Yeah. And there's like this weird sort of sense of like we're all here together having a good time thing. That is less apparent when behind you is just a stage wall.
Dude, remember those Zoom shows? You ever do that shit?
No.
Yeah, you don't have to.
No, I wouldn't have done it.
I did it.
Oh, it was money?
No, just because it was like, oh, I'll entertain some people in the middle of the day, you know?
Yeah,
and they're just
record
like,
it.
oh, God, dude.
I watched
Slowest
some people
death.
bomb at the Laugh Factory doing stand-up for no audience.
Yes.
And it was so weird, like the steps they were taking to make sure everyone was safe. They put you in a giant hamster bubble and fucking roll you up to the stage.
No.
No.
They bubble boyed you?
No, I'm joking.
I would have done that for sure. I would have loved to have been the little...
Imagine they develop a hamster chute. You just roll out from the green room.
Yes.
Okay. Sam Tallent, ready to launch.
Yeah.
You roll onto the stage.
I would
so
keep
no one
rolling,
contacts
dude. I would
anybody.
go right through the door. Gravity has a weird effect on a man of my size.
So people were on that stage with a microphone and no audience.
Yeah.
So weird.
You need an audience. You can't practice stand-up in a vacuum.
It doesn't work.
That's why it's like the only like pure way of entertaining.